Hi, I'm Dan Cheadle, and thanks for taking a look at this quick video. I'm going to zero in on 10 things that I really believe are important as an agent to be thinking about if you're going to be making a decision or whether you're looking for a brokerage. These are the 10 things that you have to weigh out to decide whether you're really at the right place or not. And this is not about me trying to recruit an agent. It's really just laying out the facts so that you can decide that you might actually be at the right place in the right brokerage, and you might be getting all the benefits, or you actually may be at a place where maybe you didn't think about some of these things, and now you really got to weigh it out in terms of are you really at the right place. And so the first thing I want to talk about is your experience. Now, I've been in the business, in and out of the real estate business for 25 years, since 1990, buying and selling real estate, getting my real estate license, getting my real estate broker's license, and so forth. I've seen all the ups and downs, and I've been at different brokerages, so I understand the value that if you're an experienced agent, that being with a branded brokerage isn't always the best place to be. I've been there. So I want to kind of hit on a few things that may entail that. If you're an agent and you do a lot of floor time, and you really, that's where you get your business and you rely on it, and it's pretty much working with buyers, then I'm going to say stay where you're at, because you're going to be in an up and down market a lot. You're not going to always get busy. You're going to be losing buyers. Buyers are liars. But the fact is that it may not necessarily always be the best place to stay. The second thing, number two, that I want to really hit on is, do you do your own marketing? Are you an aggressive, independent marketing agent? Do you get out and do you do digital marketing? Do you do Facebook? Do you do Craigslist and a lot of the other things? That might be something that we're going to have to talk a little bit more about in just a minute. Number three, do you pay for your own marketing? And how much you're spending each month. Have you actually sat down and added up all the different things that you pay for that come out of your pocket to market and produce and build your own business? Think about that just for a second. Number four, do you pay for your own office? Do you have or do you have a home office? If you're an aggressive, independent, self-starting agent and you have your own home office, you may want to revisit the idea that if you have an home office, and then why be part of a branded company when you're really branding yourself within the company. And number five, if you do a lot of email marketing, I know that that's not cheap, and it can be very expensive and timely. It takes a lot of time to develop email campaigns and marketing. Number six, do you follow up with past clients? A lot of agents, they sell them, they leave them. They sell them and they leave them. And I'll tell you what, I can't tell you how many times in my marketing I've picked up home sellers that have bought and sold homes many times with different agents, and I'll ask them, have you had any contact with the last agent? Oh, we haven't heard from him in years. Well, okay, maybe that's a hint. So you learn from those things. Hugely important to follow up with your past clients. But again, that's marketing. That's your marketing. That's your client list. That's your client base. Those are your customers that you've developed relationships with. It's so important to maintain that list. Number seven, do you have your own website? A lot of agents don't have their own website, but there are a lot that do. And if you have your own website, once again, you're doing your own marketing, you're doing your own branding, you're really building your own business. I like to say this to every agent that I meet. Are you a real estate agent or are you a business owner? And there's a huge difference, because if you're a real estate agent, I'm going to again tell you, stay where you're at. Don't make any changes. Don't make any moves. You haven't figured it out yet. You have not figured out that this is really a business that you run. It's got expenses and income and balance sheets and investments and management portfolios. And so if you run this like a business, you're really going to look at yourself as, am I a marketing machine? Am I getting out there and spending all of this stuff to promote myself and build my own personal brand? Or am I building the brand of the company that I'm working for? So something really important to think about. Number eight, and this is really a good one, is that do you have an assistant? Who's paying for that assistant? Are you paying for the assistant, or is the company that you're with? Once again, if you're with some of the big brand companies, will contribute to paying for your assistant. If you're there, stay. But if you're not paying for your assistant, if that's all coming out of your revenue, I'm going to highly recommend think about that just for a second. That's, again, everything we've been talking about is you building your own box business, your own brand, your own self. Are you Dan Cheadle out there building your own name, building your own reputation, building your own brand, or are you building the brand for the company, especially if you're paying for your own assistant? And we have a lot of agents that have come into this business that are paying for their own agent, and I question that. But it's something to really look hard at. Number 9, add up your output of what we just talked about. Really put it down on paper and look at it. I encourage you to do this. Most agents don't do it because they just keep doing it. They're winging it. And stop winging it. Sit down and add all this stuff up and say, where am I really headed? Am I building the brand for the company I'm with, or am I building my own brand? If you're building your own brand, I really encourage you to look really strongly at what your options are with other brokerages and the flexibility. And here's the biggest one. I've saved the best one for the last. Number 10 is, do you have the flexibility to work with sellers? I truly believe every real estate agent / business owner has to have the flexibility to work with sellers and put deals together. You're going to have somebody that's in a foreclosure situation. I want that listing because it's going to sell quick, and we may have to come down 6%. A lot of brokerages already have no problem with doing 6%. What about 5%? What if we pay 3% out to the buyer agent so they don't get screwed and they have an incentive to show your property? And what if we have to take 2%? It happens. But as a brokerage, you know, sometimes you have to have that flexibility to work with them. There's a lot of big brand names. Hey, we're 7%. You know, take it or leave it. You know, go in and take them to the kitchen table, the safe island, and sell them on 7%. But what happens if you lose it? You could have had it at 6 or 5.5 or whatever. You know, so I'm all about get that listing, because that sign out in the yard is a billboard and it's free advertising for that neighborhood. I want my name on every sign. So some things to think about. So there you go. Those are the 10 big things to think about. Add it all up. Take a look at it. You are more than welcome to call me and say, hey, Dan, let's have some coffee.